Welcome back to Everyman EDC. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this pen light right here. So this is the Olight O'pen 2. And what we have here is actually a pen that separates into a separate pen and a separate light. So a little different than a lot of our other pen lights out there. This one, you can actually use it in two separate locations, or just has a little more versatility than some of the other ones on the market there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pen first. So the first thing I want to talk about is the machining on this. I think is fantastic. Now, I have the copper version of this pen, and it also comes in an anodized aluminum as well. And there are a couple other sprint runs of some other materials that this was made in, but typically you're going to see them either in aluminum or copper. This pen, I think they've done a great job, like I mentioned, with the machining on it. It is basically, when we look at the pen body, it breaks down into two pieces, and that's the tip and then the barrel of the pen. Now, if you look at the tip, you will see that there is this light blue, anodized. It's basically, I'm pretty sure that is a anodized steel. Now, the reason that Olight would have done this and put this different tip on the end of this is basically copper is a softer metal, which means it's more likely to get banged up, abused, start showing some wear and tear. And so when you think about a pen, the place that's most likely to get banged is going to be at the very tip of this pen. And so Olight decided to change the tip of it from that copper to this other metal material. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that is steel. I could be wrong, and if somebody knows different, you could correct me. But as far as the pen insert itself, Olight has come up with this Olight gel ink rollerball pen, and I've been using this for a while. I've used this in some other pens. I really do like this insert. I know some people have had problems in the past with them. I've never run into any problems with it. I've been very happy with it. Putting the tip back onto the pen, the machining on this is really fantastic. This is about as smooth as you can get putting these two pieces together of metal. They go so well. You do have a little O-ring there between the pen and the tip that makes it for a very smooth connection, very nice, well fitting together. Very impressed with the machining of not just the outside of the pen, but also that where they come together and they screw together. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and this is a part that maybe I don't like as much, and that is the bolt action on here. Now, the bolt action is very smooth, and I'm very happy with how smooth it is. But the insert there, it seems like it's almost like a piece of plastic. And most bolt action pens that I have are metal all the way through. I really like that, but this is not that case. And Olight did this as well with their O'pen Mini. So something that they definitely do is put these plastic inserts there. What I think bothers me about on this one is take a listen to it, and just you'll be able to hear it kind of makes a little bit of noise. So hopefully that comes across on camera well. That it doesn't sound like metal, it doesn't have that solid sound to it. You can definitely hear that plastic rubbing in there. And so I don't love that. That being said, it is a very, very smooth bolt action, and it's still a lot of fun to play with. Initially, I thought that bothered me, but if I'm busy doing something and I don't really pay attention to the sound of it, I can still fidget with it and have a lot of fun and kind of not necessarily that I'm looking for fidgets. I've told you guys before, I don't really think that those fidget toys make a whole lot of sense for everyday carry. I know some of you guys like it, and that's fine. I look for things to fidget with that are like knives and pens and things of that nature. And for me, I love a bolt action because it is something I will definitely fidget with regularly. If we take a closer look at the light next, the light is a USB-C rechargeable light. They do come with a cord that Olight has provided for the recharge. The recharge time, I think, is something like 55 minutes, and then it can run on the lowest setting for 10 hours. So the recharge time is definitely pretty quick. Now, if I show you guys a couple things here with this, if I push this button once, you will see that that light comes on. If I push it again, that light goes off. When you push it that one time, it goes right to 5 lumens, which to me is a great. I like when lights start off at their low modes with 5 lumens, and I think that's great for walking around your house at night, not trying to wake anybody up, that kind of thing. But if you have the light on and you hold that button, you will see it actually steps up all the way up to 120 lumens. Now, once you've actually stepped it through those processes, it goes from 5 to 20 to 60 to 120 lumens. Once you've done that once, it's not going to drop back down to the 5. So if you want to go back to down to the 5 lumens when you're at 120, you have to turn it back off. Now, the other thing about this light that I do really appreciate is it does come with a lockout mode. And so if you want to have this pen, carrying it in your pocket, this button is fairly easy to click. And so if you don't want to click that, you actually can push it and hold it, and you'll see the light went on and turned off right away. Now, when you click it, you'll see it doesn't come on. There's just a red light that shows up. In order to get it back out of that lockout mode, all you have to do is hold it, and then the light comes on, and you're right back to all the different levels of that pen. So the other thing is, if you want to go from the 5 lumen to the 20 lumen, you have to kind of be fairly quick to get off the pen, or else it will scroll right through. So that is one of the things that I may not like as much, but that's, it's a small thing. Now, the light itself is very much a floodlight. It is not going to give you a direct beam of any kind. Even if you try to get it to really kind of give you a direct beam, it doesn't. It's not going to give you a whole lot of distance. This isn't one that you would take out for a walk at night if you got to go out and walk your dog or something like that. But it is one that I think you can use at your desk if you're working on some things, that you need light right there. Computer parts or things of that nature. Anything that's small that you just need a little bit of extra light for. I think that the Olight O'pen 2 comes in really handy in those type of projects. Or if you're trying to write something and you want to be able to see, you can actually separate the pen from the light and you can use it in that way, so you have them as two separate things. I really do think that that is a nice touch. Now, the O'pen 2 is not being made anymore, and I will put a link down because you can still find some of them brand new, and I'll leave a link below. The copper version, you might have to find that on a secondary market. You can still find them new, but not typically. They're certainly not sold at the Olight store anymore. You can sometimes find them on Amazon, but a lot of times you'll find them on places like eBay. That being said, if you are interested in this light, but you can't quite find the O'pen 2, the O'pen Pro is very, very similar to the O'pen 2. The differences between the O'pen Pro and the O'pen 2, and I'll leave a link for this one as well, is that the O'pen Pro comes with a laser pointer. Now, I don't need a laser pointer, and so for me, there was no need for that. And then the other thing is the light for the O'pen Pro is actually on the end of the pocket clip, which I haven't talked about the pocket clip here yet. I will in a second. But for the O'pen Pro, there's a light right here, which actually I do think is probably fairly convenient. So if you do have pockets, now I don't wear a lot of shirts that have a whole lot of pockets, but if you're somebody who does, having that right there in your front pocket might be really helpful to have that light there. Just to be able to kind of hold that for you. You can work on something in front of you. I do think that is a nice adjustment that they made. So before we finish, let's talk about the pocket clip for a second. The pocket clip is not copper. It is actually steel. But you'll notice that O'pen, or the Olight team, did decide to make it a little bit of a rose gold, so it really does match the pen very well. The O'pen Pro, they didn't do this. They actually went with a black clip, and I think for the O'pen 2, I do like the clips on these better. And I think even up top, the same thing you'll see. It is not necessarily copper up top there. It again is that steel, but they've made it that rose gold finish on it. So I like that aspect of this better as well. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button.